Hello from Delmarva. Welcome back to Shorebilly Farmer. Well, as you can see, I'm a little better dressed than I normally am. We are doing a testimonial with Pioneer about our Plenish soybeans, as you guys have seen me and heard me talk about before. So this is Rose. Hi, Rose.
Hi.
And she is from up in Ohio, and basically she saw how small our fields were and laughed at us. Where they're from, you said your family farms 4,000 acres, right?
Right, yes.
4,000 acres. So I'm having a little bit of field envy right now. It's okay, I'll get through it. It's no big deal. This is the kind of service you can expect at a Pioneer. We planted these beans a few weeks ago, and now they send out a crop monitor. She will walk around and look at every individual plant, feed it what it needs. She's already read bedtime stories to this half. She's going to be rereading bedtime stories to that half tomorrow. Got the whole gang out here now. Something's wrong with that bean. It's moving and it's drooling.
Yeah.
Hi. Well, we'll be here all day. The girls are talking. So I got work. I'm going to go do some work. Bye, ladies.
Bye.
Now, this is a rite of passage. Not everybody gets these. They're very special. You want to treat them with care, right?
Yes,
Okay.
absolutely.
Here's some Shorebilly Farmer stickers.
Thank you.
Yes.
Thank you very much.
Well, as you just saw, that was Rose, who is an intern for Pioneer. She's still in college up in Ohio. Basically, she is going around getting testimonials from farmers on our experiences with Plenish. And as you know, and as we've talked about before, we grow 100% Plenish soybeans, which is just a high oleic soybean. For those of you who don't know and are just joining the channel, hi, thank you, like, subscribe, all that good stuff. But Plenish soybeans are a certain variety of soybeans that when crushed, they provide a lot more oil than a standard soybean. And that's what we grow on our farm, and Eugene grows on his. But that is what she was here doing, and just basically taking a testimonial. So they'll use that footage of myself answering questions or the family walking in the field grazing like cattle. They'll use that in commercials or ad spots or whatever. It'd be neat to see what they use of the footage, because it was a good dialogue back and forth. And Rose, thank you for coming out. If you watch this, thank you for coming out. It's very nice to meet you. Good luck in your endeavors. And I know you and my wife were about ready to come fisticuffs because she's a Hawkeye and you're from Ohio State. So yeah, I'm glad you guys were able to settle your differences and smash beers out in the field. That didn't happen. But anyway, so what I'm doing the rest of the day is, right now we are looking at the board. The board's up a little bit, meaning the prices are up a little bit. But I've got to make a few calls to the Farm Service Agency, certify our crops for what's planted where, and then we've got to finish planting. I've got that new acreage we picked up. I got to finish disking it and plant it. So hopefully get that done today. We're going to go down and look at the soybeans we planted. They got impacted by Tropical Storm Elsa. See how they fared. I'm sure I'm going to have to replant some low spots, but I think by and large 95% of it's okay. So we might just run down there if it's dry enough and hit those spots today as well. All right, I'm going to get out of the good looking clothes and get back into my Shorebilly attire. The first thing I want to do is head out to this new 8 acres. I already disted. There's 2 fields that we picked up. One's 3 acres right around the corner here, and the other one is 8 acres, and it's a little bit further away. Now, it's not terribly far from the 610 farm that we have, but to go right from the house out to there, it's a little bit of a ride. Not too bad. It'd probably take me a half hour to get out there, maybe. But anyway, I don't want to drive the equipment out there just to find out it's too wet. So I'm going to go out to the property with the pickup truck first and walk it, make sure it's nothing over apparently too wet. That makes sense? Yeah. Because we did just have all that rain from Tropical Storm Elsa that came through 3 days ago. So it hadn't been that long. However, this time of year, water disappears quick. So we should be okay. The other thing is I want to make sure, because I haven't walked the property yet, that there's nothing out there I need to worry about. Any big holes, any surprise ditches. The ground is grown up a little bit. Well, you know what? How about I just show you? This is that little 3 acre field. It's, well, not quite 3, like 2.8 acres that I picked up right around the corner from my house. So it's not much acreage, but given its close proximity, it's worth it to come do it. I mean, it's a decent little field, got good soil, a little sandy in some areas, but overall it's a good field. Yeah, we got to farm around some old cars there, but that ain't no problem. Yeah, it's part of being a small farmer and just trying to get what you can get. We'll make some money off of it. It's not going to set the world on fire, but you know, it'll certainly pay for itself if we get an average yield out of it for being this late, which an average yield, yeah, you're looking 30 bushels to the acre, maybe 40. Any other thing we don't know, there's a lot of variables we don't know. One, they didn't have a soil test done on this, so it's laid fallow for a while. It probably needs some lime on it. But also, we don't know what the deer are going to be like here. I imagine they're not going to be good. However, we've got this huge tax ditch right here. It is a big, deep one. Not to say the deer won't jump it, but they've got easier fields to get to. The neighbors to this farm, you know, they've got beans planted right there and over there. The deer are going to probably try to graze that. Not to say they won't come in here, but it's less likely that they will come in here. Hoping, fingers crossed. We'll see. Who knows? Maybe I'm farming this and nobody else is farming it because this is the deer headquarters and this is where they hold their annual meetings. I don't know, but we'll find out. But you know, nothing, as Eugene says, nothing beats a trial but a failure. We'll see how it makes out. But hey, when we get this done, I've got to cruise on down the road to the other farm, which is, I don't know, it's like 7 acres or something like that there. So we'll get that one tilled up. I'm hoping maybe this afternoon to get some of this planted. We'll just see where the day leads us. If not, we'll finish it up after work tomorrow. All right, as you can see, we're at the 5 acre piece. It's 5 acres I didn't have before. That's a little bit of a ride this year. Next year won't be too bad because we're farming a field that's only like 5 miles from here. So driving this far for that is not going to be bad. So I've already made a full pass all the way around the field, and that for oh boy. Oh, the last farmer did not take care of this field. There are all kinds of ruts and everything else out here. I've made a full pass all the way around the field just to get an idea, one, to make sure there's nothing along the boundaries I need to worry about, and 2, so I know I've got a clear place to turn around at the end of each row and I don't have to worry about hitting anything. But as you can see, it is very weedy. You can't see any of the ruts in here because the grass and the weeds are so high. I was thinking about coming down here and spraying this first, letting it die a couple days and then coming and disking it. The problem with that is what you just saw. Me hitting those ruts in the sprayer will really damage something because you can't see them. You know, you just don't know they're there. So we're throttled down, running a little bit slower now because I just don't know what to expect out here. The ground is really nice ground. It is just gorgeous black ground, so it ought to produce a good crop. Typically this black ground is high in organic matter, and we've talked about it briefly before. Organic matter is basically free fertilizer, free microbes in the soil that are going to break down organic matter and turn it into free living nitrogen, as they call it, and basically feed your crop. So the higher the organic matter, the more fertility your soil has, essentially. You know, it needs to be treated like any other soil. You need to check your pH and so forth. We're not going to do that this year. We're going to take it on faith that hopefully the pH is decent enough to grow a crop on. And then at some point, probably after we get definitely after we get the crop out, we will get a soil test done, soil analysis, and come in here and apply what needs to be applied, lime or potash or any number of things. But you know, tilling, although this is all weeds, you know, tilling it under is going to be beneficial as well, because as it decomposes and breaks down in the soil, it's going to feed our crop coming in. Where this has been covered in grass for so long, that moisture gets locked in, you know, as we've talked about before, and you know, the ground just stays wetter longer. And that's kind of one of the reasons why people do cover crop and they spray it and don't till it and let it lay and they plant into it, because it does help lock in some moisture. However, in my experience, and maybe I'm wrong, if you got a different experience, I'd love to hear it, but in my experience, once that moisture is gone, then it has a problem retaining moisture the rest of the year, because the ground is harder and it doesn't infiltrate as deep into the soil as if you had tilled it, and the roots don't have as much structure because the ground is harder. That's what we ran into when we tried no-till, and it just didn't pan out for us. That was in our type of soil. That might be different here. They might have more topsoil here, and this structure might be better. I don't know. We'll find out. Now, soybeans are legumes, and they create their own nitrogen, and they don't, although yes, soil fertility will impact their yield, they don't rely on it as much as like corn does. Corn, this would be a great field for corn because of the amount of nutrient in the soil. So I'm excited. I mean, it's a small field. It's a long way to go for a small field, but again, beggars can't be choosers. And you know, I'm out there knocking on doors and posting on Facebook looking for land. And this, you know, this gentleman contacted me based on something that I put on Facebook, which is great. I mean, I've had people offer me all kinds of land, you know, acre here, acre there. Unfortunately, they were just way too far away for it to be feasible. I mean, and people don't know. They don't, you know, they don't know that what you can profit off of an acre. So, you know, it was cool to see them reach out. I really appreciated that. So if you guys are now watching the show and you did offer up some land and I didn't take it, I really appreciate it. You know, it's one of the things you don't look a gift horse in the mouth, but at the same time, it's got to be a smart decision to take on that land. But anyway, I still got to do that field over there. We're going to chop this up several times to get it chopped up and dead. And then I can go plant that other field this afternoon, and I think that's what we're going to do. This probably isn't going to get planted today. I think this is going to have to wait. It just feels wet. We'll see. We'll see what we get when we go through our second pass here. Everything is done, and we are going to leave the tractor here. Let's turn this off. I was letting it cool down. Always let the engine cool down so that the oil cools down in the turbocharger and does not bake the oil onto the bearings. I never like to just put her through hard work and let her and then shut her off. But anyway, the reason we're leaving the tractor here is there's still some wet spots out here that I'd rather see dry a little bit more before we come out and plant it. So we left the field cut in this direction, and then we'll go ahead, come back and disc in the direction we're going to plant probably tomorrow afternoon and get it ready for planting. And I got my mama came here to pick me up. My mama. So anyway, I think we're going to go back and plant that first 3-acre field this afternoon, get that done and out of the way. Good form. That's it. Perfect. Great job. Really, all around. Beautiful job. All right, we're planting beans. I got a little man with me who can't even make it one full round in the field without diving into his snacks. Not that he really needs snacks and water for a 3-acre field, but you know, it's kind of like camping. You always take beer, whether you plan on drinking it or not. Now we're just going to get this little piece done. Oh, now he's getting tired. All right, guys, that's going to do it for us today. So we got all the ground disted, got 3 acres of it planted. We're waiting to let that other piece dry before we go plant it. probably tomorrow afternoon. We'll just have to go look. It should be dry enough by then. But I think it's a good place to stop the video. So with that, you gonna do it?
Goodbye from down more of a Shorebilly farmer out.
You know, what he said. Shorebilly Farmer, out. Shh. There's a pioneer intern. They're very spooky. You gotta sneak up on them. It's like watching a baby doe. So you're just out here stealing soybeans? Is that what you do, or?
I guess you could say
You're-
that. Steal pictures of
This,
them.